It started about a year ago. I was holding Rachel as she cried. It hurt her to be held, but she needed my soft touch, the comfort. She was covered in bruises. Dry blood was splashed along her skin. Her blood. Her boyfriend had beaten her. Rachel is very, very beautiful. You see, you have told me I am the most beautiful creature you have ever seen. But Rachel has me beat, hands down. No pun intended. Anyways, her boyfriend had decided to pass her off to one of his friends for the night. Apparently, his friend had done him this huge favor and wanted a night with Rachel in return. When she refused and tried to leave, well, he didn't like that very much. Rachel refused to let me go to the cops. She was scared if she did, he would want revenge. He had told her as long as she kept her mouth shut, he would leave her alone from that night on. But if she ratted him out, his friends would make her beg for death until his release. Then he would get his revenge before allowing her to die. Rachel and I had been friends our whole lives. Our mothers had grown up together, so her and I had literally known each other our whole lives. In fact, we were born less than an hour apart from each other and in the same hospital. Sister doesn't even come close to describing our relationship with each other. Anyways, there was no way I was going to let that bastard get away with what he did to her. Rachel has always had this talent for attracting the scum of the universe and falling for them. I had been on vacation for a few months. I had decided to travel the world a little. She had met him while I was gone. I got back the night before all of that happened to her. She had mentioned me to Trevor, but he had no idea what I looked like, or even my real name. See, she has a nickname she calls me. Tringa. It's a play on words, you see. Anyways, he didn't know me as Azalea, so that's the name I introduced myself as. I bumped into him on the street, scattering my books everywhere. He grabbed me, preventing me from falling, and was struck speechless when I gazed into his eyes. Now, like I said, Rachel is stunningly beautiful, but my eyes are more stunning than even hers. I gave him that special smile. You know which smile I mean. I gracefully began to pick up my books. He helped me, introduced himself, and immediately asked me out. I accepted, of course, and the courting began. Such a sleaze. After the first date, he tried to get me into bed. I turned him down, of course. The second date, he tried to get me drunk, then get me into bed yet again. I refused, but that time I pretended it was harder to say no. I had to play the part of the good little girl, you know. After about a month of us going out and him eating out of my hand, I mentioned how much I loved the forest and how I used to love to go camping. Of course, on cue, he said we should go camping together. I hesitated, but in the end, let him talk me into it. We set a date and he picked me up right on time. I told him the camping trip needed to be a secret. If my family found out I spent the weekend alone with a man, there would be hell to pay. I begged him not to tell anyone I would be with him. He promised to tell everyone he was going camping alone. Turned out this was a common occurrence for him. Well, for him to say he was going camping alone, I doubt he ever really was. The day was spent with me playing hard to get and him chasing me around, waiting for night when we would curl up together in the tent. The thing is, I'm not quite who I claim to be. Well, I don't claim all that I am, would be a better way to put it. There is a very interesting trait that runs through my family. Anyways, that night, Trevor learned more about me than he ever thought he could. His body was later found at the campsite. The rain had washed away all evidence of, well, anything. A nice heavy rain. Kinda like the one falling right now. But investigators really didn't look that far into his death. It was unusual, but the teeth marks on his bones matched that of a ring-tailed cat. Normally, they don't go for something as large as a human, and investigators were puzzled by a lot of the other facts about the case. But facts are facts. He was alone, and, well, teeth marks. Time passed. His death was forgotten, and Rachel found you. Like I said, she has a talent for attracting scum and falling for them. It's kind of funny How simple you humans fall for a pretty girl with stunning eyes. How easy it is to move you around like pieces on a chessboard without you even knowing it. You know, the spot Trevor took me is less than a mile away from here. That will make things a lot more believable when your body is found. Have you ever seen a ringtail cat? No, of course not. We are rarely seen during the day, at least in that form. You should count yourself lucky. You are about to see something very few people have ever seen in person. Enjoy it while it lasts. You won't live long enough to tell anyone what you're about to see. Not that they would believe you, even if you did.